Hey everyone, it's Finch here. We got GGG against Malekith for SPL. Lead Tran indicates specs usually, and as you can see by that damage, I'm turned behind. It does 96 to the Hippo, and Hippo basically trades with it, doing, of course, 100 with the 4-time super effective Earthquake since it was not Shulkberry. So I'll make it 6-5 in favor of Garythegengar. Roserade's going to come on out and take the Seed Bomb. Okay, just some intro to the game. I believe this is the first game in the series. Malekith is 1-1. He beat Brokappa to substitute for his Matador last week. But he lost week 1 to Deep Blue Sea, whereas Garythegengar is 0-2. He lost to Matador himself. And also last week lost to Jimmy Churchwick in an interesting game. He didn't play too poorly last week though. So perhaps he's getting his feet wet and getting used to it. Anyway, we're gonna see a spike there on the Spore. So that's a nice play there from Malekith. They're going to take some initiative with this Breloom, especially if there's not a Zapdos or something like that. There happens to be, so it's hard. I think that looking at this match, it's probably bulk your team from Garythegengar. So that spec Citran could have been really useful in the long haul, but however, its inability to kill Hippowdon and thus dying turn 1 is likely very costly for the Malekith side, in all honesty. But we'll have to wait and see how that pans out in the long haul. There could be other means of making progress in the back, and we're going to see Spore, but no, it didn't. It revealed that it wasn't Natural Cure on the switch out if you paid attention. So it's actually Poison Point, which is pretty common nowadays. So a misplay there from Malekith. Definitely a lack of attention to detail there. That is going to cost him a free turn and 27% on his Breloom minus, I guess, well, more like 21%. But yeah, anyway, poor play there with Malekith. But he's going to reveal he's got a Blissey in the back on HP. So that's a nice play to get back. Hopefully being able to set up his own Stealth Rocks in order to pressure the opposing team, although it's fairly likely if there's something like a Starmie, for example, in the back for Garythegengar. But we'll have to wait and see. Sizzler there, interesting choice on a team like this. Perhaps make it more balanced than a bulkier team, which I initially pictured it to be. Don't really see Sizzler a ton anymore. The choice banded set is pretty much dead. It could be a Swords Dance set, either offensive or bulkier. It could just be Scarf, in fact. Given that U-turn damage, however, it is choice banded. Wow, this looks like something out of like 2009. Yeah, Rhyperior, what in the world are we seeing here? A Rhyperior, a choice banded Scissor, oh my. This is some weird fat fuck shit. I imagine the last could be like a Starmie, or just some kind of fast water. Rapid Spin seems especially right. So Starmie seems like the perfect fit, especially since it gives an Infernape check. But let's wait and see. This is gonna kill this shit. Oh, it only did 34. Okay, that was underwhelming. I pictured this being choice banded. However, that definitely was not choice banded. So yeah, now this Breloom is more likely than not gonna threaten out this Rhyperior with Stealth Rock up as well. The Zapdos isn't entirely safe. If you're Focus Punch here for Malekith, I would definitely click it, but I think he's more likely than not just gonna click Superpower or potentially even Seed Bomb. Honestly, I would click Superpower in case he wants to get cute and get the Scissor and the Super Bomb. He's just gonna probably fodder off the Roserade on a Seed Bomb. Okay, I guess he predicted the Rhyperior to stay in there. It was a fine conservative play. It did 19, so the follow-up Superpower would most definitely get to kill this. Actually, not most definitely. Let's think here. No, I think it would definitely kill it. Yeah, I think at worst it's a roll. But given that did 19 and this 4 times resisted, so to 80, Superpower would do over 100 without its resistances, and it's only 2 times resistance at half, so therefore it would do about half. Probably a bit over half. I'd say like 55, 60. So yeah, Superpower is going to threaten something here, and there's no chance it wakes up as it has no sleep terms accumulated. Worth noting that the Roserade is faster than the Breloom, so it's not some weird rogue fast Breloom. Perhaps the bulk that it has could help it take things like that Stone Edge better, which makes sense that it only did 34, because I literally thought it was going to like choice band to Stone Edge that shit to oblivion. But anyway, yeah, it's a 6-5 position in favor of GGG, although the Hippowdon is pretty much dead. It's at 11%. It's slower than everything. And I imagine we're just going to see Sleep Talk Energy Ball. That is cool. That's a hit right there. All right, so that's cool shit. I really like that set choice there from Garythegengar. And this is going to leave this to where it can only really come in on spikes once more. Although Poison Eel could technically give it some net gain from the Sandstorm, so maybe twice more, depending on how it's maneuvered, or it just could be fought off, perhaps to something like the Rhyperior or the Zapdos later on. But hopefully he's going to try and get something asleep Although, given that Scissors, Bullet Punch, Hyperior kills it, etc. I mean, I guess he's gonna get on like after something dies. But anyway, I really am fond of that Sleep Talk. I think that's cool. Perhaps we see a Pursuit here. I don't know the calcs. If this is fast, we could just see a U-turn as well, potentially trying to gain initiative. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure. Oh, it's a faster spoil there from Malekith. That's big. Not really sure what the play here is for Malekith. I'm not sure what his lasts are. I feel like something like Starmie would make sense in the back, for example. But Zapdos seems like the counter to Scizor. Yeah, I think both decently likely to have Starmie. I think that Malekith probably is a secondary steel type, though. We could see, for example, a Jirachi or, back to Breloom on the Hippo. Ooh, wow, such a nice play there. Malekith is playing fantastically ever since turn 1. And honestly, that turn 1 wasn't even bad because more often than not, the Hippowdon is going to fall. It was just a nice set there, a timely set there from Garythegengar, where you can see a superpowered catching to do a bit more damage on the Roost. Or is he going to try and save the Breloom and go to the Blissey? Let's find out as he Seed Bombs into the Zapdos. It also took Stealth Rock, dropping it down to 39%. And if I had to guess, this is probably like not a fully defensive Zapdos, but it has like significant HP. It's not max HP. Well, 248 HP rather, of course. He's going to go to the Blissey, which is fine. I imagine we see a Roost there. Yeah, a nice Roost there. It was a good play by Garythegengar, not fearing the superpower, which would out damage Roost, but ultimately we get the -1, so he'd able to Roost up again. So, Garythegengar positioning himself up. Yeah, and there's the Starmie. So it was a fairly predictable last. Toxic is going to be nice there, as its ability to spin against the Blissey is going to be held to a pretty temporary and he's just go right for Fire Fury on a safe softball. Okay, so yeah, that's a nice play there by both, in my opinion. Just to conserve this at fall in case things get out of hand later. And this is leftovers. Could this be like, for example, substitute plus focus punch for Fury? That would be pretty cool. I'm not sure how effective it would be in the long term, depending on the last members of the team. But I can't see really much being a full counter to it that would be packed on Malekith's team. The Breloom is all but healthy. All but dead pretty much at this point. So 31%, so I can't switch into any attack. Zapdos is more likely than not dead to Stone Edge from 70%, and probably 100% dead to Stone Edge, honestly. There's no way it lives in max defense because it's a fucking Rhyperior. As I said, I think Starmie is decently likely last, as things like Blissey let up spikes fairly easily, as well as Spike Slug. And it's going to be Sub Punch. Yeah, okay. And we're going to see the Toxic. Yeah, that seemed like a poor Toxic. I'm really not fond of that Toxic there from Malekith. I think that was a big screw up. I think you have to switch there. Oh, and the Starmie is Illuminate. It is still Toxic. It's not Natural Cure. This man really hates Natural Cure on his team. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, okay, so both of them are going to have Starmies, as I predicted. That one's going to dodge a Stone Edge, unfortunately. Although, since it's leftovers, I am fairly certain that it's going to live the follow-up. Yeah, it lived the Stone Edge, but now it's going to force it out instead of just getting... Oh, and he's going to predict the Rapid Spin, and he's going to kill that shit. I mean, it probably lived that bulky Surf in the sand, so it's a fine play. And now the Breloom is going to come back in. So it was wise of Malekith earlier on to save it after getting that really nice Spore in there. That play was humongous. I think that we probably just see a Seed Bomb here. Unless you want to... A lot hinges on what the last is and how it matches up with the Rhyperior. I imagine we just see Seed Bomb here, though. Zapdos comes on in on a superpower. All right, nice play there, but only did a mere 29%. So it's basically just going to force a Roost from Zapdos. And if your immediate response to Zapdos is Blissey, then you're just going to see a repeat of the last sequence. So you kind of have to find a way to get aggressive. Perhaps go Blissey on the Roost and then double back the Breloom. Although if you get caught with HP Ice on the Breloom from Zapdos, then you're going to lose your Breloom. So you have to play this very wisely if you're Malekith. And the thing is that with Zapdos being able to loop check Breloom, it's kind of a trap there. Hippowdon actually is a nice fodder there on a Toxic. Yeah, that was just a smart fodder. In fact, it could technically be saved here, but I imagine more likely than not, he's just going to force the Seismic Toss to position the Rhyperior well and just fodder off the Hippowdon. I think going into Rhyperior would be a huge risk by Garythegengar, and it's just unnecessary considering this is all but dead pretty much. Malekith taking his time to try and figure out if there is an optimal sequence here that could provoke him positioning a bit better against the Rhyperior, but I think that ultimately the answer is not, because if it was, it would probably more likely than not involve the last Pokemon, and he's yet to reveal that. So that's it. Probably would have been revealed other. I don't know about that. I don't like that. See, because that just allows the Zapdos to come in, and now what? You really should have just killed that. Unless your last is something like that really takes advantage of Zapdos. Like, if the last is Tar, especially if it's like DD Tar with the Scissor Sleep, fine, I get it. But I don't think it's a DD Tar. I think it's a second Steel type, quite frankly. I think it's probably a Jirachi. In fact, I think that it's probably Scarf Jirachi, if I had to take a guess. But I've been wrong plenty of times before, although I did nail both the Starmies. Yeah. Are we gonna say, oh, it's a Metagross? Okay, so it's similar to Jirachi. All right, I'm not that far off here. So I don't think that this is likely to be able to one-hit KO the Rhyperior, but the question is, seeing as Rhyperior also is not choice banded, neither of them. Oh, on a Meteor Mash Mish. That is oh, and it kills the Earthquake. Yeah, I don't know if those are rolling up. That was horrible. That was the worst possible turn for the Malekith side. Although one could argue that makes up for the Stone Edge miss at an earlier point. But yeah, Garythegengar looks like he's in a winning position at this point. Perhaps able to get his first. Are we going to see Seed Bomb here? Yep. Okay, so that was an honest play there and a good fodder up by Gary. But now we're going to get the Zapdos in here. This is still not even close to over. This is incredibly winnable for Malekith. But I think that Gary has a clear path, which maybe wasn't very expected coming into the game, given the reputation of Malekith as a strong team prepared. Gary is more of an inexperienced one. So really cool team though from Gary. I like this sub punch Rhyperior a lot, and I think it really took advantage of that Blissey before, and it has potential to do so once more, seeing as it likely is 404 HP substitutes. Which also is why I was like, I'm not even sure if it's max attack investment, because it outruns the Blissey and likely has HP for 404 subs, so therefore it may not even be max attack. So I wasn't sure if it killed the Metagross because of that, but it that question was answered on that turn a couple turns ago, back on turn 28. Yeah, with the Meteor Mash and whatnot. Anyway, Malekith's timer is down to 30 seconds, so this is going to come down the wire. He's definitely taking his time. You'll notice the Garythegengar actually hasn't taken much time. On the other hand, last time his timer was seen was on turn 11 at 270. So yeah, he's gonna roost. I mean, that was a fairly obvious play, which is fine though. It was punishing. It was only punished by superpower, and then that was just negated the following turn as a -1 superpower on a roost would do under half, whereas each turn he's risking the Breloom's life to an HP Ice, essentially saying, okay, I would then lose to the Rhyperior. And we're gonna see a nice Zapdos double there on the Scizor switch. It's worth noting, however, that this Scizor has 2 turns of sleep. Rhyperior is going to come in here. Is there something to punish it? No, it's going to be a Thunderbolt. There's going to be absolutely no damage whatsoever. Is there going to at least be a Toxic here? If there's a Toxic here, there's a chance that the Kiss side has a shot, or even HP Grass, although it's not going to kill. Roost here, risky business. It's going to do 59. Oh my. That's a lot of damage from this sponge. Perhaps showing that it is indeed max attack adamant from the Rhyperior. That is a lot. Although maybe it's just an offensive-oriented Zapdos. And we're going to see a substitute, and I have no clue how he's breaking this. I don't even know if HP Ice would break it in Sand, quite frankly. And I don't think HP Grass is quite likely on this team. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be Edge Power regardless. It's going to be sub-Swords Dance, so it's not even sub-Focus Punch, pardon me. This seems bizarre, but I guess that pretty much forces the kill on Zapdos. I still don't think this is HP Grass, even with the Metagross in the back. You've got a Balloon, you've got what could be very well likely a Toxicity, and a Lure, potentially luring Heatran. Yeah, that's 29 with a Wimpy HP Ice, and he's going to use Stone Edge once more. Just going to take that out. It's only 2 Stone Edges left, but if you're looking at the remaining Pokemon, they're all taking plenty of damage from Earthquake. So now you go Zapdos here, and you just don't get crit by Superpower or Seed. Okay, now you just don't get crit by Superpower in the Roost, I think. Actually, HPS is a fine play here if you're Garythegengar, but I think he needs to slow down and consider the ramifications of either option. And Malekith is Malekith's probably just gonna go Blissey. Yeah, on the Roost. Okay, nice play. Do you fire the Scissor here? Is the Breloom in Breloom probably dies to sand plus rocks plus. All right, we go scissor here, and now it's probably gonna wake up. Seismic toss, yeah. So it wakes up, and superpower claims a kill, and Garythegengar should win the game. Unless it's a long sleep. But now he can just bullet punch. Unless it gets crit by a Mach Punch from a faster Breloom. I see no way that this lives a choice banded bullet punch. And unless this is like an absolute max ridiculous sleep, then he goes to Zapdos anyway, just to preserve the thing asleep. Safe play there. Then he's gonna wake up and just needs to avoid any crits on roosts from superpower, and he should win the game, I think. Bliss is gonna come on in here. Does the Scissor live? No, it doesn't live a Seismic Toss after rock. So does he go Rive? Yeah, he goes Rhyperior. Risky play on a Toxic. Okay. Now, does Earthquake do over half to this? He goes to Breloom. I think that's going to live Earthquake plus. No, it's going to die to Sand. Yup. That is huge. All right, that was a good play then. I think the initial Stone Edge doing 36. Thing is, Stone Edge and Earthquake do about the same. Really tipped Malekith off, perhaps. But anyway, Malekith is pretty much lost here now. Yeah, so Garythegengar is going to win this game against Malekith. So this was a really cool team by Garythegengar. I liked it a lot. And he played as well as he needed to win the matchup, so that's good. Nice showing there from the US West rep. Yeah, Earthquake's just going to crit the Blissey. I don't know if that mattered. Probably not, but I mean, either way, he won the game regardless. Good game from Garythegengar, and it looks like there's no good game from the Malekith side, interestingly enough. I don't really think he got terribly unlucky there, but I mean, is what it is. Nicely played there from Gary. Yeah, the mash miss sucked, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But at the same time, he would have also just lost to Starmie had he not dodged. So I don't really know, especially if the Scissor had a normal sleep. I don't really know if Malekith's going to like him playing there, but it is what it is. So it's going to be a win for the Tyrants in their first DPP win of the season. Good game.